Chumash, Parshas Miketz, Shlishi, it's Perek Mem Aleph, Pasuk Lamed Tes. Vayemer Pari El Yosef, Pari tells Yosef, Acharei, after Heidia Elihim Oischo Es Kol Zeis, after Hashem has let you know all this, Ein Novein B'chafim Kamecha, there's no one as understanding and as wise as you, Actually says, what does it mean, Ein Novein B'chafim Kamecha? The Vakish Ish Novein B'chafim Shamarta. You're telling me that I need to seek out a person who understands and who is a wise man, like Nimsa Kamesa. We will not be able to find anyone like you. Tia al Besi, you will be appointed over my household. Al Picho Ishak Kalami, and through your commands, all my people shall be nourished. Rakakisa Egdal Vimeka, only with the throne will I be greater than you. What does it mean, Ishak shall be nourished? Yitzan means Yitzan Yisparnis, which means that shall be nourished, shall be sustained. All my people's necessities shall be provided through you. Kamei Nashku Var, similarly, like it says, the steward of my household. Grash Nun Belaz, like provision. Raka Kisa, only with my throne. Shiyuperin Li Melech, I'll be called the king. Kisa Lef Neshem Amalchus, this is denoting kingship. Kumei Vayigadel as Kisei Mikisa de Amelech, and make the stone greater than the throne of my king, my Lord King David. Vayemer Pari Yosef, Pari says to Yosef, Re'ei Nasati Oischo, Al Kol Eretz Mitzrayim, I have appointed you. Look, I have appointed over the entire land of Mitzrayim. And Sati Yisrael, Rashi says, Manisi Yasach, I have appointed you. Rafa became Lashon Nesino. It's nevertheless an expression of placing. And to place you above. Ben Gdula ben the Shifris, Naishfa Lashon Nesino love. Whether for greatness or lowliness, the term Nesino is appropriate. When Asadi Eschem leaves in Mishvalim, I too have made you contemptible and low. Passing limb base. Yosef Parias tab ato imial yodi. And Pari removed his ring from his hand. Vayitin oisa alad Yosef, and he placed in Yosef's hand. Vayalbish Yosef b'nei sheish, and he attired him with this like fine linen. Yosef nevid azav al tzavare, and he placed the golden chain around his neck. Rashi explains, Yosef Parias tabate. Pari removed his ring. Nesinas tabas hamelach he oist mishenoisna loy liyesh sheni leiling dilo. Giving of the king's ring is a sign to a person who is given to second to him in his greatness. Being the Sheish, Mitzrayim, this is an item of value in Mitzrayim. Revid, what's a Revid? Anok, this is a chain. While Shudratza Betabaz called Revid. Because it consists of links placed in a row, it's called a Revid. V'chein, Marvadin, Ravadati Arsi. It says in Mishlei, I have decked my couch, which means that Tzafti Arsim Artzapois. I decked my couch with rows of ornaments. Lashon Mishneh Mukaf Revdem Al Evin. So like the Mishnah says, surrounded by rows of stone. Al Hariv Shabazara, on the row of the courtyard. If he Ritzba, this is like the floor of the pavement. Pasuk Mem Gimel Vayakiv Oisai B'Merkevas Mishneh Asheloi. And he had him ride in his chariot of second rank, where he called the fun of Avrich, and they called him before him Avrich. Like this is the king's patron. But also, they say Al Kol Eretz Mitzrayim, and appointing him over the entire land of Mitzrayim. Ashtil Merkavas Mishnah Ashnil and Merkavte, second in the chair, and the command Hamahalechas Eitzos Shaloi, which goes next to his. That's what it means Merkavas Mishnah. Avrich, what does it mean? Kedagome. Dain Abel Malka. The Targum says this is like a father of the king. Rach Losh Ramil. An Aramaic king is Melech. Bashutfin lo Yericho v'le Barecho. The Gemara says in Bava Basra, the partners, he neither a king nor the son of a king. V'dibra Agada Dar Shem Yuda Av Rik. As a Yosef Shu Av B'chach Overach B'shanim. In the Medrash it says that Rabbi Yehuda expounded that Avri refers to Yosef, who was the father in wisdom. He's smart, but he's tender in years. He's young. So Rabbi Yosef ben Durmas said to him, "How long are you going to pervert the psukim for us?" Ein Avri Aloshem Berkayim. Avri is a term denoting knees. All would enter and exit under his hand. In Yeshanemar, Renos and Esai, as it says, and he pointed him. Pari said to Yosef, I am Pari, and besides you, no one will lift his hand or his foot in the entire land of Mitzrayim. I have the power to enact a decree upon my kingdom. And I decree that no one should raise his hand. Besides you, should labor without your permission. Another explanation is I am Pari, which means I will be the king. And I shall be the king. Besides you, this is parallel to only with the throne. In other words, even though I'm giving you exclusive power to raise your hand and foot, I am still going to be the ultimate ruler. The Targum says, and no man shall raise his hand to bear arms or his foot to ride a horse. Pasuk Meme Vayikra Pari Hashem Yosef Sofnas Paneach. Pari named Yosef Sofnas Paneach Vitane Osnas Bas Potifera Kohen Oin Leisha, and he gave Osnas the daughter of Potifera, the governor of Oin, for a wife. It's Yosef Lars Mitzrayim, and Yosef went forth over the land of Mitzrayim. Sofnas Paneach with Forish Hatzfunis. You explain hidden things. In the Paneach, Diminin Bemikra, and Paneach has no parallel in Teda. Potifera, who Potifera? This is Potifera. Nikra Potifera, al Sheni Stories and Elov. So he's called Potifera. Why is he called Potifera? Because he became emasculated. Why? Because he desired Yosef for homosexual relationships. And Yosef was 30 years old when he stood before Pari. Yosef went out before Pari and passed the entire land of Mitzrayim. And in the 7 years of plenty, inhabitants of the land gathered food by handful. As the Targum says, in Lashon Nekra, Lashon Asiya. So the Targum says, and the land made. The Targum says, in other words, it does not lose its meaning of making. The Matzim Kemis al Kemis is handful over handful, Yod al Yod, hand over hand, Hayu Eisum, they were storing it. Pasuk Mem Ches. He collected all the food of the 7 years that was in the land of Mitzrayim. He placed food in the cities, the food of the fields surrounding it, he put it within it. Each land preserves its own produce. And they put into the grain some of the soil of the place, so to preserve the grain from decaying. Yosef gathered grain like the sand of the sea, in great abundance until one stopped counting because there was no one number. Until the one counting stopped counting. Miketz is just very, very short, the way the Torah describes it. Which means because there was no number. He is used over here in expression of because. Yosef had 2 sons, before the years of famine set in. With Osnas, the daughter of Potifera, the governor of Oin, bore to him. Rashi says, "B'tenem tovei shazadov." Rashi says, "Mikan sha'adam asa shamish v'tosid b'shnei ara oven." From here we learn that a person is not allowed to engage in marital relations during years of famine. Yosef named the firstborn Menashe, Kinoshani limus amali. Hashem has caused me to forget all my toil. It's called Visavi and all my father's house. Hashem Shri Kra Ephraim, and the second son he called him Ephraim. He finally bears Anyi. Hashem made me fruitful in the land of my afflictions.